YouTube. It's your boy, yo, the best that ever did it. We got college football, week 3. It's some locks on this car, y'all. Locks. But before we get into it, man, I just want to say thank you to all my supporters, all the people that subscribe, all the people that's sharing, leaving likes, commenting your picks, all of that. Keep doing what you're doing, man. You will be rewarded soon. You know what I'm saying? Like, we killed it last week on week 2. Had about 3 tickets, 1 team off on my parlays. So if you've been following me, you've been, picking winners just like I have. So let's just keep picking winners. You know what I'm saying? Everybody thought Arizona was a joke against Mississippi State. Took them boys to OT, like I said, man. I know what I see, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to call it how I see it. You feel me? Mississippi State ain't that special. Way too overrated right now this year. But yeah, let's get into week 3 action, man. We're going to kick it off with the Thursday games. Today, Bethune-Cookman, Miami, Florida. This spread is absurd. They got this shit at 53. 53 and a half, some books. 52 and a half on MGM. Now, this game is tricky right here, man. I should see Miami blowing them boys out, of course. But I don't think it's going to be by 53. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a little bit too much. I could see a 49-7 or 49-3, 45-7, 45-3, 50, shit, even 55-7, shit. But that's still not a cover. Like, man. I would lean to the points with Bethune-Cookman on this one, but it's a stay away to me. It's no value. If the total is at 60 and a half and the spread is at 52, that kind of don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? If somebody get 52, the other person gets 7, or you know what I'm saying? That's over this total, or damn near over. So I think it's a trap game. I would lean towards the points with Bethune-Cookman, but I'm not in love with that. Bethune-Cookman is sorry. Miami, Florida is good. And they're at home. Cut it out. Miami to win the game, but I don't think they cover 53. Honestly, I just don't. I think it's going to be like a 47-3. Worst case scenario, Bethune-Cookman gets 3 field goals. Worst case, right? 9 points by 3 field goals, right? Miami run that shit up to 45 points. Shit, even a 48 or 51 to 9. 51 to 9. That's not a cover. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't think they cover, but I think they blow them boys out. Next game, we got Navy Midshipmen versus the Memphis Tigers. Them boys is so different, though, boy. The Memphis boys could play, but I didn't like what I seen all the way when they faced Bethune-Cookman. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the boy threw 2 interceptions in that game for Memphis. But he picked it up next game against Arkansas State. No nobody. Now they playing Navy, who lost to Notre Dame game, I think week 0. And they beat, who did Navy beat? Wagner or some shit like that. It was Wagner, 24-0. I don't think Navy's on Memphis's level. Memphis is comfortable right now at home, 2-0, starting off strong. He did look pretty bad in that, not pretty bad, but it was like, he looked human in that Bethune-Cookman game for Memphis, their quarterback. He threw 2 interceptions. So I think Memphis isn't perfect, you know what I'm saying, by any stretch of the imagination. They are, they're human too. They could turn the ball over. Navy is a little bit more roughneck. I just want to lean to the money line on Memphis. I know it's a lot of juice to lay, but it's a great parlay piece. I see Memphis winning this game in all facets, but I'm not sure if they're going to win by 2 touchdowns. I could see it happening for sure. I could see it happening, but I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those type of games. Can I get my scroll on cut? There we go. Yeah, I'm going to take Memphis on the money line. I wouldn't lay that point spread. When you got a low total like that, it leaves rooms for backdoor opportunities. Navy's just going to run the ball a lot. I could see it happening, though. Memphis could blow them boys out by at least 20. I wouldn't be mad if you guys went with the spread. I'm going to leave it to straight money line, though. Next up, this is where it starts to get controversial. Maryland with Tua Tagovailoa's little brother on there at the QB, holding down the Rams. Maryland at home, going against Virginia, who's 0-2. Virginia looked solid in their last game, though, after coming off of a disappointing game 1. Virginia, they was looking bad in game 1 a little bit against Tennessee. You know, that's expected. That's not a bad loss. They put up 13. They still lost by 36, but that's a good here they come with these leaf blowers and shit, man. Gee, I've been awake for like 3 hours already. Soon as I get ready to record, and here come these leaf blowers and shit. Anyway, y'all, we gonna keep it going. We don't do no cuts. We don't do no fakery. James Madison is a good program. Like I told people, I picked James Madison to win this game, and I was sweating the whole game because Virginia was looking good. He threw 1 in, but 2 TDs and almost 400. Only missed 6 passes. He was looking pretty good, man. That James Madison defense is pretty good, too. The Russian had 2 touchdowns. They got some firepower over there in Virginia, man. Just not up against a top 25 team, you know what I'm saying? And if we go look at Maryland, right? They beat Towson. You know, Towson is nobody to, that's really nobody to beat. And then last game, week 2, they played Charlotte, y'all. Charlotte. Tului, or whatever you say, Tului. I can't even say dude first name. Tagovailoa, little brother. He threw 2 ends and one touchdown. You know what I'm saying? He damn near threw for 300 yards, but when you playing like that against Charlotte, dog, 2 ends. They were down 14-0 at the end of the first quarter. At the end of the half, it was 14-9. Entering the fourth quarter, y'all. Third quarter, second quarter, first quarter over. They going into the fourth. It's 14-7. Maryland up by 3 in 3 quarters. You know what I'm saying? Against Charlotte. That shit don't look good to me. I'm going to call it how I see it, dog. I'm going to call this shit how I see it, man. Charlotte was only able to beat South Carolina by 21, 24-3. That's a good 21-point win, but that's against South Carolina State. You know what I'm saying? That's a doormat. And you're struggling with fucking Charlotte, and now you got the right to be a 15-point favorite against Virginia. That shit over with. This is one of the biggest upsets of the week. I got an even bigger upset than this though, but you know I'm the underdog king, man. We catch them underdogs every week. Virginia is one of them. Virginia plus the 14.5, man, easily. I'ma sprinkle a little bit on the money line too. I'ma do a two-teamer with these upsets. Watch, I'ma show y'all the value. I like the spread though. If you want to play it safe, guaranteed, they're gonna cover 14. They're gonna cover 14. Simple. I don't see why they think it's just because it's Tua's little brother and they're going off last year's shit, man. I see what I see this year. You know what I'm saying? Virginia's gonna cover this spread, but I want to sprinkle some on the money line. I think Virginia got a fire lit under their ass after losing that 1-point game to James Madison, 36-35. I think they got a fire lit under their ass. They know they could play good. They got their confidence boosted after that. Coach is going to be under their ass after that loss. And I think they come out swinging. They know this is a big school in Maryland. They got to prove themselves. You know what I'm saying? They got to prove themselves, man. Maryland did not look good last week. I don't know how they're still a 15-point favorite. It's no way. But I like Virginia on the money line. Honestly, I do. But we're going to leave the spread right now. Next up, we got Army versus UTSA. UTSA kept it close with Houston for week 1. Who they play last week? UTSA. Like I said, I'm not that high on UTSA. Oh yeah, we took Texas State against them boys. Texas State had all the opportunities to win this game. Texas State receivers was dropping balls. Texas State quarterback overthrew a touchdown, just overthrew him. TJ Finley, man. If TJ Finley would have made 2 completions, he would have had 14 more points. You know what I'm saying? He had a wide open touchdown. He overthrew it. I think the next drive, he made a better throw and the receiver dropped it. And that was the difference between scoring 14 more points. You know what I'm saying? But they still did cover. Like I say, I think it was at 10.5 or something like that. 10 to 13 points. They covered that easily. They had a chance to win outright. It was 10-10 at the halftime. I know what to expect from this Texas State team now. Just like I said, they were going to cover. They did. But they had a chance to win outright for sure. UTSA is not really that good. You know what I'm saying? Couldn't beat a bad Houston team. And they struggled with this Texas State team that's better than most people are giving them credit for. And this one, though, they're going up against Army, the Black Knights. Army does run that ball a lot as well. They lost to Louisiana Monroe by 4, and they played Delaware State, and it was a blowout. Kind of a confident booster, but you know that's a doormat in Delaware State, so it's nothing to really look too much into. Now they face a UTSA team at home that's pretty strong at home. You know what I'm saying? They could put up points. I'm looking towards the over on this one. The over is low as fuck right now. I like over 44.5. I think we get over that in this first half, or by the end of the third quarter, it's over that. I think we get over this total fairly quickly. UTSA is going to put up points. Army does like to run the ball out and run the clock out, but I think that we could get at least 10 points from these boys. Or worst case scenario, 3 field goals, 9 points from them boys. UTSA is going to be in the 30s damn near. 35-9. You know what I'm saying? I could see that easily. But that's gonna be the minimum though. Like I was saying, I could see that as the minimum. Couple more defensive touchdowns on either side, and we get right over that total. I like the over, and I like UTSA to claim another victory. Next up for the Friday slate, Utah State versus Air Force. Air Force coming into this one 2-0. A little bit overrated. Their 2 wins were not that impressive. They play Robert Morris. You guys. And then they beat their ass by 35. Next game, they play Sam Houston. And Sam Houston is bad, y'all. Like, if they lose 13-3 to these dudes, Sam Houston is bad. Air Force is all right, though. Don't get me wrong. But look at their quarterback play. 14 yards, you guys, in 4 quarters. 14 yards. That shit is not a good offense. You know what I'm saying? They've been playing teams that's worse than them. So it's made them look good. Utah State is not really that good either. But Utah State got a little bit more fucking to offer than that. 78 points on these dumbasses. Idaho State, 50-point blowout thrallop against a ranked top 25 team. They put up 14, lost by 10. I think these Utah State boys are way better than Air Force. Way better than Air Force. I'm going to take Utah State on the spread just to play it safe. But I like these boys on the money line as well. But we're going to cook up that underdog money line at the end. Underdog money line parlay at the end. We're going to try to leave it to 4 teams or less, because it's so much value. I might put 100 down on this underdog parlay at the end. So stay tuned for that. Next up, we got the Saturday slate, y'all. Saturday slate. So now how I'm going to do the Saturday slates now, since it's so many games, I'm going to do the lemon squeeze feature. So we're going to spark up this joint. We're going to look to our left and our right, and we're going to start lemon squeezing shit. We're going to do pretty much a rapid fire of picks, because there's so many games. I'm not going to go all the way in depth, but I'm going to cover up what needs to be explained. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to do it in a timely manner to get through all of these games for you guys. Leave me a like, leave me a subscription, and we're going to keep hitting the books where it hurt, man. Finding these underdogs, finding the best value, finding ways to make money off of college football, y'all. Let's do it. Game 1. Tread lightly on this one. I do have a 16 parlay in effect right now with this game on there. Florida State will throttle up Boston College. They will. Boston College almost lost to Holy Cross. Boston College almost lost to Holy Cross. So what do you think Florida State's going to do? They're going to beat them boys by damn near 45 points. I think it's a 45-point victory to these boys. My scale and my scales and everything, my simulation has this game at least 30. What was it? Yeah, my simulations have this game at Florida State with a spread of minus 33. They're projected to win by at least 33 on my cover, on my spread. And I think that follows into tuition. I think we get this well over a 28-point win. I like the spread on this one a lot. And I do have that game on my ticket right now. But I say tread lightly in this one because of weather concerns. Weather. This one is going to be one of those rainy games. Delay. It might get canceled. It might even get canceled. So don't put this ticket on your shit unless you know for sure they're going to play. It might get canceled, so tread lightly. Next game, we got LSU. Mississippi State. Mississippi State is overrated to me this year. They almost lost to Arizona, like I said. LSU is pretty decent. I like Daniels. I think LSU takes this W in a pretty dominant fashion. It's going to be a close, tight game, but it's still going to be a clear-cut victory for LSU. I think LSU gets up early and Mississippi State fights back, keeps trying to punch back in there, but it's like it's always going to be a 7-point gap, 7 to 10-point difference. I think LSU gets that dub easily. Mississippi State is really no surprise for me. They should be 1-1 right now if they weren't at home. Next game, we got K-State versus Mizzou. I'm not big on Mizzou at all. Missouri fucked my ticket up last week. I had them to cover 21 points against Middle Tennessee. I think they won by 4 points. You know what I'm saying? So Missouri is not it this year. Yes, they have 2 wins under their belt, but it's against doormats damn near. Middle Tennessee damn near could have won that game against Missouri. That's how bad Missouri was looking. It should not be this lot. Well, I mean, I see why. It's an in-state rivalry, but Kansas State is looking way more explosive against Troy last week. Troy was looking solid. Don't get me wrong. Troy did have their moments, but everybody was trying to do one-hand catches, and a couple catches were dropped because of that, trying to be too fancy, flashy. That's what lost Troy the game, going away from the fundamentals. Kansas State has ways to fucking score. They could score on the ground, through air, through defense. I think it's too much for Missouri right now. Kansas State is ranked 15 in the world for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Kansas State money line. You don't got to do too much more than that. Liberty versus Buffalo. Now, I like Liberty now. Don't get me wrong. Liberty can score. We had New Mexico State last week against Liberty to cover. They did not get the cover late. But if you guys could see, man, I call it how I see it, y'all. I had New Mexico State to cover. I had New Mexico State to cover last week against Liberty. They lost by 11. They lost by 11. Wait, no, I'm sorry. That's UMass. Liberty, they lost by a damn 16. But look at the scoring summary, y'all. 7-7 at the end of the first quarter. 17-22 at the end, at halftime. 17-23 at halftime, my bad. 17-23 at halftime. They only down 6 entering half. You know what I'm saying? And they just pitched a shutout at the end of the second half and only put up 10 points themselves. 2 ints for these guys over here on New Mexico State, but he played a pretty damn good game in that first half. Caden Salter is pretty solid, but it was looking like his defense was giving him a scare. They got that rushing yards going, 20 carries, 9 carries, which we would like to see way more. If you got 9 carries for 65, we want to see you doing more running. That's what kind of lost New Mexico State the game, bad play calling. But yeah, Liberty is human. You know what I'm saying? Liberty is human. They can struggle. They struggled a little bit in that first half against New Mexico State. Do not forget that. But Liberty going up against Buffalo. Buffalo is too dormant for me, man. It's Liberty or pass. I'm not backing Buffalo with a 10-foot pole. Buffalo is too dormant on the offense, bro. They offense. Just let me show y'all real quick. They let Fordham beat them. You know what I'm saying? Fordham beat them boys. They did look pretty all right against Wisconsin, but we know Wisconsin's having a down year. Mordecai is not the answer. But against Fordham at home, you're not going to beat Liberty at home then either. You know what I'm saying? Liberty is going to smack their ass around at least by 7. I like Liberty on the spread as well on this one, but I'm going to just leave it money line. Louisville versus Indiana. We got down Louisville, Indiana. I'm not really that big on Indiana. Indiana lost to these boys, Ohio State. Ohio State isn't that good either. They did play an in-state rivalry in Indiana State. They little brothers. But that's nobody really. They playing nobody. Now you go up against Louisville, y'all. Louisville is something special now. They put a 56-0 ass whooping on them boys. And then they played Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is pretty overlooked, underrated. And they showed their ass in that one at Georgia Tech's house. I think they play Indiana, and it's a closer game at first. In the first half, it's close. But I think Louisville pulls away towards the end. Louisville money line on that one for sure. Now, we got another controversial pick right here, y'all. We got Wisconsin Badgers versus Georgia Southern, and I'm riding with Georgia Southern plus the 20. Georgia Southern has the offense, man. Georgia Southern has the offense. They proved it to me against UAB last week. I had UAB damn near to win that game. You know what I'm saying? And they absolutely proved me wrong, man. I like to see that against a good Wisconsin, a big program like Wisconsin, man. I think Georgia Southern is hanging with them in every facet. Maybe not the defense. Wisconsin defense is a little bit better, but the offense, Georgia Southern is way better on offense. So which weakness would you want to go with? I'm going to lean with the solid offense that can go in a shootout with a team and continue to thrive. You know what I'm saying? Rather than a team with no offense and just leaning on their defense to hold everybody to zero. I'm going to take Georgia Southern. I would just leave this game, since it's plus 650, I'm going to probably do a straight single bet on this game, money line. Just a straight, not a parlay, because it's already boosted so high. You don't need to add any much more to this for the, But I do like the money line as well on this one for Georgia Southern. I think they get the upset. I think they beat them boys outright. That's how low I am on Wisconsin. But we're going to leave it for the spread, just for the safety. Wake Forest versus Old Dominion. Wake Forest versus Old Dominion. Wake Forest is way better. Way better than Old Dominion. I think they cover the spread easily on this one, honestly, man. I'll ride with them boys plus 2 touchdowns. Well, minus 2 touchdowns. But just money line for parlay's sake, for fucking, safety. I see them winning that game. Iowa State now versus Ohio. Ohio Bobcats at home, 2-1. Iowa State lost last week to their big brother Iowa. Ohio, man, they have a quarterback on their squad. He could get that ball down the field. They could score now, don't get me wrong. This game is like, it could go either way. It's a real 50-50 game. But I'm going to lean on Ohio plus the 3/ money line. I think Ohio has what it takes to cover plus 3. I think they also have what it takes to win outright. But I could also see a defensive game. And Iowa State has what it takes to put up at least 14 to 17. I think we get over this total in Ohio cover. I'm going to leave with the plus 3 for safety. Next game, we got UMass versus EMU, y'all. I'm going with UMass plus the 7. Eastern Michigan isn't that good. You know what I'm saying? EMU is better than most bad teams, yes. EMU is a good bad team, but so is UMass. You know what I'm saying? UMass is not that good, but they're one of the better bad teams. You know what I'm saying? I think UMass has what it takes to beat these boys outright. UMass got a good win against New Mexico State. Game 1. They put up 40 on New Mexico State. I don't think Eastern Michigan's offense is putting up 40 on anybody. I think UMass could put up 30, 28 on here. I think UMass wins this game. I'm going to sprinkle some on the money line as well. This is another game that I'm probably going to add to that money line underdog ticket. But we're going to leave it for the plus 7 for right now for fucking safety's purpose. 11:30 slate. Notre Dame, Central Michigan. Notre Dame's favored by 35. CMU is not that good at all. They're not beating Notre Dame at all. I would lean with Notre Dame minus the points. But I probably won't touch that game at all. I would lean Notre Dame plus those, minus the points, I'm sorry. Next, we got a good game right here, y'all. Number 1, Georgia versus South Carolina. South Carolina and that boy Spencer Rattler. It's like overrated, just because he got experience don't mean he's good. Spencer Rattler is all right now, don't get me wrong. They could put up points, dog. They're going to put up points in this game. They're going to put up at least 10, at least. At least 10. But I don't see Georgia as that big mega powerhouse this year. I don't. They don't give me that vibe this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, this the number one team in the nation they just don't give me that vibe. Maybe it's the QB, maybe it's the coaching, but I think everybody's overlooking Spencer Rattler and them South Carolina dudes. Yes, we know Georgia's defense is way better by far, But the offense needs to grow a little bit more. I think we get a backdoor cover with South Carolina. I probably won't touch this game. It probably won't make the ticket, but that's where I would lean. South Carolina plus 28. Lean. Next up, we got Alabama at South Florida. But it's a neutral site game. They're going to be playing at the Buccaneers Stadium. Because South Florida isn't a big enough school to hold Alabama. You know what I'm saying? Like, that got to be such a disrespectful feeling for South Florida. Like, your school stadium is too small for Alabama to play, so you guys got to go play at an NFL stadium. That's such a slap in the face. Alabama's going to run away with this shit, man. Alabama, I do not like what I seen last week against Texas. But that's Texas. You know what I'm saying? Them boys are different. Top 25 in the country. At least they should be, you know what I'm saying? But Alabama's going to run away with this one against a South Florida team. The Bulls ain't on shit. He probably won't make the ticket, but I will lean with Alabama. Next up, we got San Diego State versus Oregon State. Beavers. I think it's a little bit too high, honestly, of a spread. 25 points for Oregon State. Yes, they look good. Yes, their defense looks solid. Yes, they're at home. Yes. But San Diego State is pretty bad. Don't get me wrong. San Diego State is not good. But 25? I could see it either way, though. Either way, I think Oregon State wins, but I think San Diego State covers. It won't make the card, but that's how I'm feeling on that one. Oklahoma Sooners versus Tulsa. This is a 40-point game. Oklahoma's going to beat them boys by damn near 35, 38 to 40-point win. I could even see a 32-point win. Oklahoma with the cover all day. Tulsa's nobody. Minnesota now versus North Carolina. 7.5 point spread. I think North Carolina runs away with this one easily. It could be closer than most people are anticipating, maybe. But either way you slice it or dice it, even if it's a 3-point game, North Carolina is on the winning side. Money line for safety. I do think North Carolina wins by more than 8. I do, but I'm going to leave it on the money line for safety. Western Michigan versus Iowa, y'all. Western Michigan is a little bit more feisty than people think. Western Michigan ain't no damn doormat, y'all. But I think Iowa is just clearly better on both sides of the ball. Clearly. I think we get over this total easily. I don't know why it's such a damn low total. Over 42.5. Iowa probably is going to put that up themselves. That's probably the team total for Iowa right there. We see what Syracuse put up on Western Michigan, so I don't get why that total's so low. I mean, Western Michigan could put up a touchdown or a backdoor field goal or two for themselves, so I don't think it should be that low. Over 42 is the strongest play for this game, and I'll lean with Iowa on the money line or Iowa on the spread, but I think over 42 is the best play for that one. Next up, we got Virginia Tech. Hokies, they choked against them Purdue Boilermakers last week this is a solid Rutgers team so far. Rutgers is not a world beater by any stretch of the imagination. They're not a world beater, but Virginia Tech is susceptible to giving the ball up, especially not at home. Virginia Tech is one of those teams that plays down to their competition. Virginia Tech plays down to their competition or plays up. You know what I'm saying? Every game they play is a game-to-game basis. They're going to play to that competition. They don't play one way. So with that being said, man, I think Rutgers got 3 home games in a row to start off the season, dog. I think they finish it. I think they finish it off right here. I think they get 3-0 right here. I think they get to 3-0 right here. And then whenever they go on the road, look to fade Rutgers. Whenever they go on the road against a formidable opponent, look to fade Rutgers. But I think they're comfortable right now. 3 home games in a row. 2 of them are wins. I think they get this 3rd one under their belt. It's a close game, though. Don't be surprised if Virginia Tech wins this game. Virginia Tech is a live dog. Rutgers haven't really played the best competition. This is their first true test, so I'm not sleeping on Virginia Tech, y'all. I'm not. I could see Virginia Tech keeping it very close. But Virginia Tech just haven't surprised me on offense at all. They haven't surprised me. I'm going to lean with Rutgers at home to get their 3rd win in a row, and then we look to fade Rutgers after that. This game right here, y'all, ECU, East Carolina versus Appalachian State. I think Appalachian State is going to win this by 20. I think this is a 20-point victory. Let me get my scales. My scales had this game at 17.5. It's projected for Appalachian State to win by 17.5 or more on my scale and my simulation. You know what I'm saying? ECU is dog shit, dog. I think if me and you teamed up, we could damn near take on ECU ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how bad ECU is. Appalachian State for the win by a long shot, by a long run. I'm talking about like 20-point win. I have this projected at. But just for safety's sake, we're going to leave it on the money line for Parlay's sake. Appalachian State on the money line. That's easy as it gets right there. Next up, we got a lock. We got a motherfucking lock. FIU versus UConn, dog. And they still got them boys a fucking favorite. UConn, G-ball. UConn is that bad, y'all. This is what they did to me last week. I had UConn on about like 5 tickets, y'all. I had UConn on about 5 tickets. All 5 of them lost because they did this shit. Georgia State. They let Georgia State do this. You know what I'm saying? A 21-point loss to Georgia State. And it was a game they were never close at all. They scored at 14 in garbage time. Look at the scoring summary, y'all. 28-0 through 3 quarters. UConn is ass. FIU is way better than UConn. Way better than UConn. They did have a bad game one, week 1 against Maine. But they clearly show they have the offensive firepower to beat North Texas. So they damn near could have beat La Tech as well. And like I said, every North Texas game, I'm taking the over. And this proved, I said that shit last week. When I seen North Texas play California, that shit was a 70-point game. Last week, FIU, 70-point game. You know what I'm saying? So every time North Texas on that field, take the over. But yeah, UConn should not be favored against anybody. I don't care if it's Northwestern. That shit should be a pick'em. I like UConn, what I seen from them in game one. They kept it close with Virginia Tech. They could have beat Virginia Tech, but they didn't. Ultimately, they didn't. Next week, I was high on them because they hanged with Virginia Tech, and they fucking shit on themselves. You know what I'm saying? It's too inconsistent for UConn. I'm taking FIU on the money line. On the money line. Fuck the points. I'm taking FIU on the money line. And that's one of those picks right here, money line underdogs, that we gonna add to that ticket at the end of this video. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Western Kentucky, Hilltoppers, they got some spark now, don't get it wrong. Versus Ohio State, who's very overrated. This one's fairly easily. I'm taking Western Kentucky plus the 28.5. Too many points to give Western Kentucky like they're a doormat. Ohio State is way overrated this year. That's as easy as it gets, y'all. Way too overrated for Ohio State. And then also this piece of news, UConn football starting quarterback out for the year. UConn starting quarterback who they had in them first two games out for the year. FIU money line all day. FIU money line. Don't say I ain't give you that underdog pick with FIU. Wait till week 3 is over and that bitch is a winner. If you just singleize that bet, FIU money line plus 200 and just put 200 on it, you will be a fucking good ass dude to do that. Cause that shit's gonna hit. It's gonna hit. Next up, we got Tulane versus Southern Miss. Tulane's quarterback is hurt right now. But even with their backup quarterback, I think they still are all right. They're still the better team, yes. But I know this is a close game. It should not be a 13-point total. Southern Miss fucked them up last year. But like I said, I don't go off last year. I'm calling shit how I see it this year. You know what I'm saying? With the QB uncertainty for Tulane, I'm not sure if we're going to see that same explosiveness with that without the starter. But I think Tulane still scores. Tulane still is going to score. This might be a little bit of a trap game, though. Southern Miss could cover this, and if not, win outright. I wouldn't be surprised if Southern Miss won this outright, but this is a stay-away game for me because of an injury on Tulane. I like the Tulane side, but I also could see Southern Miss winning this game. It's a close game. I'll lean towards the point with Southern Miss. But it's a stay-away. Until Tulane's healthy, I'll lean with Southern Miss, but I'm not in love with Southern Miss either. I'm not in love with them. I'm not in love with Southern Miss at all. It's a stay-away game. Louisiana Monroe coming into this in 2-0 against Texas A&M. This is where they catch their first defeat at. Texas A&M about to win this game. I don't know by how much. I do not. My scales, my simulation has this game, Texas A&M. It has this game at a 29-point spread for Texas A&M to cover. That's about 7 points over than what I got it projected at, but that don't mean it can't happen. I think Texas State wins this by 4 touchdowns easily, but 5 to 6 touchdowns or 5 touchdowns in the field goal is kind of pushing it a little bit. But Louisiana Monroe hasn't played anybody nearly as good as Texas A&M. So I think it's a wake-up game for this UL Monroe. I think they got to wake up after this game. They're gonna get demolished bad. Yes, they're gonna get blew out. But I don't know if it's by 37. I would have to lean Texas A&M though, if I had to pick anything. Next up, we got Washington, y'all, versus Michigan State. Michigan State's coach just got fired. All of the turmoil, all of the distractions on the off field going on for these Michigan State Spartans. But Washington, y'all, is looking serious. Washington is looking serious. Their quarterback, Penix, that nigga is real. He's real. He kind of remind me of Baker Mayfield a little bit when he was on Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? Like that electricity, that shit is real over there on Washington. You know what I'm saying? I do think Michigan State covers the 16. I do. I think Michigan State, everybody is thinking, oh, the coach just got fired. Everybody's distracted. This is a feisty Michigan State team. They're not bad at all. But they are a little bit of an inferior opponent to Washington. Yes, I think Washington wins it on the money line, but Michigan State covers. Don't sleep on Michigan State just because their coach got fired. That could be a good thing for them boys. Anyway, Georgia State versus Charlotte. And this is a Charlotte team that just kept it close with Maryland. This is the same Charlotte team that just kept it close with Maryland. Everybody's so high on Maryland, you know what I'm saying? And if Charlotte could hang with them 14-0 at the end of the first quarter, they could also get off to a strong start on this one, I believe. So I do think we see an over. I do think we get over this total of 51. I do. I think we get over this total of 51. And I'm going to take Georgia State. Georgia State is pretty solid, man. They showed me last week what they're about. Their defense is holding niggas to 0 through 3 quarters. I'm not sure if they're that dominant this game, but I do like the upside on Charlotte. This would be a good buy low spot for Charlotte if you wanted to hop on that Charlotte bandwagon. But I think that Maryland game was more on Tagovailoa's problems than Charlotte being good. So I'm going to lean with Georgia State on the money line for sure. But I do think it's a close game. But I think Georgia State's clearly better than them. Clearly. Pretty easily. Now we got South Alabama. Oh, skipping one. This where it gets controversial right here, y'all. Tennessee versus Florida. I'm riding with Florida. I know Tennessee has dominated this matchup in the last 20 years, 15 years, 20 years ago. It's been all Tennessee. I think the last time Florida won was in 2019. I like Joe Milton a little bit, but he's not no Hendon Hooker. He's not that level yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think they're still growing chemistry. Florida isn't looking the best either. Honestly, Florida did not look the best, but so did Texas Tech. You know what I'm saying? Texas Tech lost to Wyoming, and they stuck it out with the Oregon Ducks. You know, just clearly some real college football shit right there, bro. How you lose to Wyoming? You lose to Wyoming. And then the very next game, you stick it out with the Oregon Ducks. That shit over with, dog. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think this was one of those games right here when everybody's down on Florida, everybody's high on Tennessee. But I think this is an upset game waiting to happen. I got Florida on the money line, but I would take the 6.5 to put in my back pocket for safety. But I'm taking Florida on that one though. Controversial pick right there. A lot of people don't agree with that, but I like Florida on that one. Oklahoma Sooners versus South Alabama. Well, no, this Oklahoma State, my bad. Oklahoma State versus South Alabama. South Alabama is no good. I don't see what anybody's seen in them since week 0. Everybody was saying South Alabama is going to be decent. Everybody's saying that South Alabama. No. Oklahoma State on the money line. Easy as pie. It's easy as pie. South Alabama is not beating these boys. Sorry. They're not beating those boys. Vandy versus UNLV. Vanderbilt money line easily. UNLV should not be considered a 4.5 point underdog. It should be 7 points or higher. UNLV probably couldn't beat. I'll get an edge to Vanderbilt. I think it should be a bigger spread. UNLV shouldn't be fucking considered to be even almost a chance to win, man. Like, UNLV is that bad, y'all. Vanderbilt is way more physical, way more physical. Vanderbilt for the win, easily, money line. Miami of Ohio. Is this who that is, right? Miami, Ohio. So they ain't gonna say the name on this one, huh? Anyway it goes, y'all. I got Cincinnati. We was on them last week as an underdog. And they shouldn't have been an underdog. They showed everybody why, just like I said. If you go look at my last video, you will see I'm not just saying I said that shit and I didn't say it. I said all of that shit, man. Y'all, my boy commented in the comment, Underdog King. He know what's up, man. Shout out to my boy. That's one of my real niggas right there, man. He see I'm one of the Underdog Kings on YouTube. We gonna catch underdogs every week. And I'm not one of those goofies that's picking underdogs just to try to find an underdog, try to anticipate no, I'm not anticipating shit. I'm calling it how I see it. Cincinnati's about to fuck these boys up, dog. I got them on the spread, but we gonna do the money line for safety's sake. Cincinnati on the money line, great parlay piece, easy winner. La Tech versus North Texas, Mean Green. You see that spread is at 70, y'all, right? What did I tell y'all? When y'all see North Texas, take that over. And look at this fucking spread, 69.5, 70 points. That's how North Texas plays. I do think we get an under this. I think we get under the total this game, though. I think this is the game that goes under. The books caught up to the overs. The books caught up to the overs. They got the spread right where it should be. But I think this game is going well under the total. We see La Tech versus, who did they play week 1? Was that FIU? I think it was FIU. Somebody played La Tech week 1 or week 0 or some shit like that, and it was a low scoring game. I think that's what we get here. Everybody's already on the over train. You know what I'm saying? So this is about 7 points higher than I got it at. I think it's easily a 60-point game. Yes, it is a 60-point game. Yes. But I think it's more into the high 50s. I think it's going to it's going to end off more of the higher 50s. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be like a 57, 59, 55-point game at the end of the day. I think we get under the total. Everybody's already on the over train. And I think it's a great sell high spot. So we're going to sell the over high while everybody's high on the over. Sell that shit high. Sell that shit high, man. I think we get under the total of that. Next game, we got Louisiana, Lafayette, Raging Cajuns versus UAB. UAB let me down last week, but Georgia Southern were just looking that good. I mean, if Georgia Southern is just that good, then they're just that good, and UAB's defense is that bad then. But I don't think UAB's defense is that good, but the UAB offense is there. UAB offense is there. They're gonna put up 20-something a game, at least 2 touchdowns a game for UAB minimum, the minimum. The Raging Cajuns, this is what they did last week. They lost to Old Dominion, 38-31. I'm not pretty high on this Raging Cajuns team. Yes, UAB did let me down last week, but they had a chance to win. They kept scoring when we thought the game was already over. Georgia Southern went ahead by 2 touchdowns or something. And we like, yeah, UAB's dead to rights. And then they come back and score a touchdown. Now it's a game again. I think UAB has the offense to overcome deficits. You know what I'm saying? Like 2 touchdown deficits. UAB has the offense to fight back. I don't know if they have the defense though. That's why they ended up losing. You know what I'm saying? The defense is probably not as good, but so is the Raging Cajuns defense. They letting 38 come off to Old Dominion. think we get an over this total. This is the game that should be at 69.5. This is the one that should be at 69.5. But I think we get over the total and a UAB win. Both teams' defenses is letting people score, and both offenses are electric. But UAB's offense is a little bit more electric. I like the quarterback play at UAB slightly more for sure. So UAB money line in the over. James Madison, dog. They're my dogs right there. They almost lost to Virginia. They did. That's why I'm high on Virginia this week. Yeah, I like Troy as well, though. It's crazy that Troy is the favorite. The books are high on Troy, obviously. I like what I've seen from Troy against Kansas State. I do. I like what I've seen. I think we get well over this total. It should not be 46. What are they thinking? 46? Come on, dog. One of these guys gonna put that shit up. They gonna be at 46 by halftime. Watch this. By the end of the third quarter, going into the fourth, it's gonna already be a covered total. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna have that by the end of the third quarter. Over 46 is easily the strongest play on this game, because I do like both sides. I like Troy and I like James Madison. I just think Troy has a little bit more momentum going into this one. And that's a controversial thought right there as well. Everybody's going to say James Madison just got the upset win after trailing 36 to 35, 1-point win. James Madison closed the game out strong, while Troy lost to K-State handedly. But I think Troy still has more momentum in coming into this one, man, than James Madison. Take it how you want to, but I think Troy finds a way to eke out a victory. But this is a very close game. I could see either side winning this one. I'm pretty high on both teams here. I like James Madison, but I think we're going to ride James Madison at home when they return home. After a loss like that, after an emotional win like that, 36 to 35, I think they might be a little bit too big-headed, you know what I'm saying, and lackadaisical on defense. So I'm going to lean with Troy, but I think we get over this total. That's the best play, over 47. We're going to get that by the end of the third quarter. Next up, we got San Jose State versus Toledo. I'm riding with Toledo. San Jose State did look formidable in week 0, and then they caught their first dub. Show y'all what San Jose State about. San Jose State played Cal Poly, and they won by 56. You know what I'm saying? Oregon State bust their ass. USC bust their ass, but they did look formidable in that USC game. They showed a little bit of balls down there. Toledo did look solid, though. But they did look pretty human last week. Not last week. They looked human against Illinois. But 71-3, that's a team that I'm looking to back. Yes, they did lose to Illinois, but they damn near should be 2-0. They should be 2-0 because Illinois did not look good in that game, and they just found a way to win at the end just by being a bigger program. But Toledo is the better team here. I got Toledo on the money line. It's a great parlay piece. And to close out the evening, y'all, we got the evening matchups. Bowling Green and number 2 Michigan. This should not be a 40-point spread. I like Bowling Green to get the backdoor cover, but I like Michigan to fuck them boys up. I like Michigan to win that easily, comfortably, but I don't think they win it by 40. We got Georgia Tech at Ole Miss. Georgia Tech is slept on, dog. Why is it such a big spread? You know what I'm saying? Ole Miss versus Tulane last week was struggling against Tulane. And even after the QB went out too, like Ole Miss was still struggling for like the next 2 drives. And then they just blew the doors open after that. But I think Georgia Tech is a live underdog here. I wouldn't give them that many points. They're not that bad. Georgia Tech will cover that spread. Ole Miss is the better team. Ole Miss should win. Ole Miss should win, but they're not gonna blow them boys out by 20. Georgia Tech they damn near have a chance to win outright if everything goes as planned. Next up, we got Syracuse at Purdue. Syracuse offense is looking electric, but they haven't played anybody. Purdue did choke that first game. I was on Purdue against Fresno, and Fresno caught the back door, man. Purdue couldn't let nobody, Purdue couldn't stop a nosebleed. You know what I'm saying? Purdue couldn't stop anybody from scoring against Fresno State, even after being up double digits. I think Syracuse has the better defense and the better offense at the moment. Syracuse money line. Pittsburgh versus West Virginia. I think Pittsburgh should be the favorite in this one. Pittsburgh played Cincinnati last week, and like I said, Pittsburgh is one of those defensive teams. They're going to have a good run game, good solid little throwing game every blue moon, but they're a defensive team that likes to run that shit down people's throat and play hard, rough defense. You know what I'm saying? West Virginia is a little bit more of an air assault, but I think Pittsburgh is the better team here. This is a little bit of an overreaction to Cincinnati, that Cincinnati lost. Cincinnati's way better than West Virginia, and they shouldn't have been underdogs at all. I told people that. But West Virginia is not as good as Cincinnati. They should not be favored over Pitt. Nah, dog. Pitt's much more roughneck than them. This is a close game, though. I see why it's a close line, but it should be reversed. Like, it should be a close line, but Pitt's the slight favorite. You know what I'm saying? I got Pittsburgh on the underdog right there. And BYU versus Arkansas, I got Arkansas on the money line. BYU is overrated. They only put up 14 points one game. Let me show y'all how bad BYU is. They put up 14 against Sam Houston. The same Sam Houston, y'all, that just lost to Air Force. You know what I'm saying? And then I took Southern Utah on the cover. They covered that spread. It was too many points. Southern Utah easily covered that. Well, it was a sweat. It was a little bit of a sweat, but Southern Utah got the backdoor cover. I think it was 32 points. Yeah, Arkansas is way better. Arkansas is way better than these boys. Arkansas money line all day long. Now we got Akron versus Kentucky. I got Kentucky all day long. Even on the spread, dog. Now we get to the night games. Wyoming versus Texas. Wyoming upset Texas Tech, and then they won their last game last week against a scrub. Texas just came off a big win against Bama. I think Texas dominates this game at home, dog. Texas is going to dominate them boys. Wyoming is looking to do another upset, keep it close, but I don't think they find it here. Texas is riding high. They're feeling good. Woo! Texas all day long against the spread. Now we got Hawaii. Rainbow Warriors against Oregon. Oregon finished it off strong at the end of the game for us last week. I do think Oregon blows these boys out. It's probably going to be 55 to fucking 6. I think they win by more than 38. Oregon will win a blowout. Now we got FAU, y'all, versus Clemson. I'm not high on Clemson this year. Clemson is having a down year. That's why they dropped out of the top 25 for sure. They're not the same Clemson team, especially with that quarterback. He's an asshole. But they are much better than FAU. I think it's a blowout waiting to happen. I got Clemson on the spread. Next up, we got a very easy game right here. TCU versus Houston. I'm riding with TCU all day long. I'll damn near put them on the spread as well. But easy money line. That's a great money line parlay piece right there. TCU is about to fuck Houston up. Houston can't even beat really UTSA comfortably. Houston struggled last week as well with who did I tell them they was gonna lose to? Rice. You know what I'm saying? I had Rice all day long. Go look at my last week's video if you think I'm talking shit. Man, I'm the underdog king, dog. We had Rice. We had Rice plus 14. And they bust them boys' ass. They was up 28-0 at one point on Houston. Houston should not be even considered a single-digit underdog at all. Against TCU? Come on, dog. TCU money line all day. I'll sprinkle some on the spread. New Mexico State versus New Mexico. I'm not pretty high on New Mexico Lobos. Yeah, the Lobos, man. They didn't play anybody. You know what I'm saying? Tennessee Tech is one of the worst schools in the world. They're definitely like ranked in the 300s. You know what I'm saying? Like, or the high twos. This is a rivalry game all the way around. I think we get a close ass game. New Mexico's offense is nice. New Mexico State and New Mexico, but they're going up against doormats like that. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna thrive against those type of doormats. But when you get up against a rivalry, New Mexico State, I'm leaning towards New Mexico State, man. I think New Mexico State has what it takes to win that game. Colorado versus Colorado State. We got Colorado all day. We've been riding them since the year started versus TCU. And like I said, Colorado will never be a 3-touchdown underdog ever again. This is a big rivalry game, but I think it's a 24-point spread for a reason. Colorado State is ass. Colorado is not ass. I think we might get a lower scoring game, but I think we still see a dominant victory for these boys. Colorado is hard to stop right now, man. I don't think Colorado State's gonna stop them at all. I think USC is gonna be the day that Colorado loses. Next game, we got Fresno State versus Arizona State. I'm taking Fresno State. Fresno State is looking way better than most people would imagine. I faded Fresno State against Purdue, and you see what happened there. You know what I'm saying? Fresno State is the real deal. Fresno State is the real deal. Arizona State, we faded them last week for a reason, and it followed into tuition. Fresno State will win this game pretty comfortably. It should be more than a 3-point spread. Fresno State is going to win by like 7. Kansas versus Nevada. Kansas much better. Nevada is not. I'm laying the points with Kansas. Next up, we got Arizona versus UTEP. Arizona is the much better team. This is the final game of the night, and I'm taking Arizona money line, dog. UTEP is asshole. Arizona is way better at home. If Arizona was playing Mississippi State at home, I think Arizona would have won that shit outright. But Arizona all day on the money line. Great parlay filler. That's how we going to close out week 3. Covered every game on the slate for y'all. Not every single game, but most of the games that's on the betting apps and shit. You know what I'm saying? Let's kill these niggas, man. This shit is, they giving us free money. You know what I'm saying, with these underdogs. So the underdog parlay that I'm gonna cook up for y'all, I'm gonna leave it to 4 teams. 4 teams, y'all. We're gonna leave it to 4 teams. First team on the underdog parlay, we gonna ride with them boys. Florida International. That's team 1 of the 4-leg underdog parlay. Florida International money line. Next up, where them boys at? Pittsburgh, right here. Pittsburgh on the money line. They should not be underdogs right here. at all. They should not be underdogs. I got Pittsburgh, FIU, and then the rest of these boys at the top. Virginia, and Utah State. Virginia, Utah State, FIU, and Pittsburgh. 4-leg underdog parlay. That shit gonna hit, dog. Air Force is not that good. Maryland is not that good. Whoever Pitt's going against, who is they going against again? They're not that good. They shouldn't even be favorited. I also like a 2-leg underdog parlay that I also like is Georgia Southern on the money line, and you parlay that up with where them dogs at? Yeah, Western Kentucky. Parlayed up with a 2-teamer. Western Kentucky money line. Western Kentucky money line, and we got, I like UMass as well. UMass, Western Kentucky. So look, we're going to take the points with Western Kentucky. Plus the 28 with Western Kentucky. UMass money line. And then, where them dogs at? And Florida money line. Western Kentucky plus the 28. And then those boys up there. UMass money line. Western Kentucky plus the points. And Florida. I think that's a good 3-leg upset. But yeah, that's how we're gonna close out week 3. One of the best that ever did it, man. Underdog King. Spark up your joint. Live freely, man. Don't let people cloud your judgment. Don't let the books trick you. Don't let nobody else on YouTube trick you. Don't let nobody in your circle trick you. If you believe what you believe, bet that shit. And if it proves you wrong, you know what I'm saying, then learn from it. But if you go with what your gut tell you and it goes into tuition, you're doing something right. And that's exactly what we're doing. I posted my results for week 2. Go check out my shorts if you haven't. I post my results on my shorts. So you could see my results, man. Like, I'm not just talking. Like, I don't talk, man. I like actions over words. So let's stab the books, man, where it hurts. This is a great card to make money off of. If you're a high roller, if you like to bet over 500 on parlays, I got a mean 2-leg parlay for you if you're a high roller. Take Vanderbilt money line with Vanderbilt, and then take Fresno State money line. Two teams, Fresno State and also you could add on, if you wanted to add another third one, I would give the edge to I'll probably get an edge to Oklahoma State right here, man. Oklahoma State could be that third piece. Drop 500, drop 1,000 on it. That shit is guaranteed to hit. We might even end up doing it. You know what I'm saying? So let's go slab the book week 3. We're going to be better every week. Every week we're going to keep getting better. It's your boy, Yoy. It's the best that ever did it. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, man. A lot of y'all be watching, but don't be subscribed, man. Subscribe so we could get to 100 subs. Let's do it big, y'all. Underdog King checking out.